Just four brothers who love this city.
Bringing back the mohawk. Good for you.
Y'all got jokes, huh? This is gonna be good.
Where's Raph? That went well.
This film is not yet rated.
And welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. And coincidentally, on the first day of a brand new month in 2026, we're taking a look at the first Friday of the month of June 2016, June 3rd, 2016 to be exact. We got three movies to take a look at, and two good ones, one not so much. Let's start with the biggest of the new releases, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, the sequel, of course, to the 2014 Michael Bay-produced movie, which was one of the big surprises of 2014. I mean, it was one where you hear Michael Bay produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie after seeing what he did with the Transformers movies, and you think, I don't know, I don't think this is going to work, and then it turns out to be pretty good, and a lot of that can be brought into this movie as well, as they kind of bring in more of the cartoon series into this one, as Shredder joins forces with mad scientist Baxter Stockman, played by Tyler Perry, and henchmen Bebop and Rocksteady to take over the world. The Turtles must confront an evil, even greater nemesis, the notorious Krang, voiced by Brad Garrett. And also there's Casey Jones introduced in this, played by Stephen Amell from Arrow. You see Laura Linney in there. Megan Fox is also back as April O'Neil. I mean, I've touched on the other Ninja Turtles movies in the past. I've talked about them in length on the episodes I've done in the past, so you really don't need to know more from that overall. But if you want to go check those out, they're online. They're on the website, not website, the channel here. But as we come to this movie, I'll be honest, I did like this movie a lot. I did have a good time watching this movie. One thing I gotta say though is that I'm glad we actually have a fun, lighthearted comic book movie like Deadpool again, because we were getting to a point where we were just getting these really dark, grim comic book movies that just really weren't working, like Batman v Superman, and even last week's X-Men Apocalypse. I mean, I know that you want these comic book movies to be taken more seriously, but there are times when you can do more lighthearted stuff, and this is definitely one of those movies in particular. I mean, yeah, this movie knows its audience. These are made by people who clearly grew up with the cartoon series, grew up with the toys, and they shows in this movie here. Like, there is a lot of fan service in this movie, but it's fan service done in the right way. Fan service that's done where the characters are actually played into the movie, and much like the characters in past adaptations. For example, Bebop and Rocksteady, played by Gary Anthony Williams, and Sheamus from the WWE are very much like the characters from the cartoon series, and they play those parts very well. Even Krang was a surprisingly really good addition to it, and voiced by Brad Garrett. And, here's the thing. It's one of those movies where Brad Garrett was kind of brought in at the last minute because they were going to get Fred Armisen to do the voice of Krang, which I think would have been a better choice overall, but I do like Brad Garrett a lot. I do think he's one of our great character actors, one of our great underrated voice actors, and he does go out of his normal stick to play this voice very well, and he does it very well. I won't say it's the greatest, but, I mean, I would have liked Fred Armisen, but it's Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett can usually do no wrong. I even liked Stephen Amell as Casey Jones. I mean, you know him as Arrow, and, this was around the time where his Arrow shtick was kind of starting to get a little bit old. I thought he was actually better as Casey Jones in this movie than he was in the previous season of Arrow, which was around that time. They even bring in the Technodrome, which actually looks kind of badass. And even somebody like Tyler Perry gives a really good over-the-top performance as Baxter Stockman in this that I thought worked very well. And again, Megan Fox is really good as April O'Neil. Like, everyone gave Megan Fox a bad rap, thinking that she never did anything good in her career. Jennifer's Body, Friends with Kids, This is 40, the last season of New Girl, her wonderful, sexy lingerie pictures that have come out recently. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go look for that stuff out there, because, yeah, if you had any doubts about Megan Fox back then, yeah, look at her now, just like, Jesus, man, like, I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it right now, but, yeah. The Transformers movies and Jonah Hex, she's not really good in those, but she's good in movies where she doesn't act like a ditzo or that, like devoid of any acting abilities. She's given way more to do in this than any of the human actors, these movies. She does a good job capturing the spirit of what makes April O'Neil one of the definitive characters in TMT. She's a damsel in distress, but she knows she can fight her way back too. It's actually a really good performance by her in these films. The Turtles are nicely done here. It's the same cast from the first movie, except for some reason Johnny Knoxville's not in this movie, which I mean, I don't know why it's not that hard to get Johnny Knoxville the money to come back and do this, but then again, maybe it's one of those things with, like, who was it in, did Jason Biggs come? I think Jason Biggs was first in the 2012 Ninja Turtles show, and then they replaced him the next season with Seth Green. And, you know, it's one of those things where, if it's, coincidentally, I think it was also Leonardo, too, in that. Yeah, he was Leonardo, but it was the first 2 seasons where Jason Biggs was Leonardo. I guess this was around the time where they apparently wanted to get they apparently didn't want to hire the same people to play Leonardo again. But, I think, Alan Ritchson, I think, is the guy who does the voice of, Leonardo in this one, if I'm not mistaken. He's Raphael, so I got that one wrong. But he's replaced by Pete Plosek, who I don't remember whatsoever. I guess he was on Teen Wolf, but, I mean, yeah, it's very distracting. Because his voice and Johnny Knoxville's voice are very different overall. But it is cool to see the motion capture guy for Leonardo getting the chance to do the voice here. I think it is, you know, I think it's a better option than getting Knoxville back. Not to say that he was bad, but you could tell it was Knoxville in that first movie, and it does become a little bit distracting. I mean, even Tony Shalhoub, I don't think, comes back in this one as the Splinter in this, because I think he's replaced by Danny Woodburn, if I'm not mistaken. I know I'm pausing a lot here because I'm trying to get my research correct on this. This is why I checked, because yes, he is back as Splinter in this, and Danny Woodburn, who did the motion capture work for him in the first movie, is not back. They got somebody else, Peter Di Belamonte. But Will Arnett's back in this movie as well, so yeah, I mean, they're as Vern, so yeah, I mean, it works here. It works that they're bringing some of these new people in here. The action sequences and the visual effects are nicely done here. I mean, just like the whole movie seems like you're watching the original cartoon series, which is interesting because the director of this is Dave Green, who made Earth to Echo, which was not a good movie, and you could tell that Green was a fan of the cartoon and wanted to bring those elements into this movie, and it shows in this. And by the way, he's also directing the soon-to-be-released Coyote vs. Acme, so hey, another win for him. At this point, I don't think that movie's going to be bad at all, but there are definitely a lot of complaints about this movie. There were a lot of elements of the story that don't really make a whole lot of sense, subplots that don't really go anywhere, specifically the subplot about the Turtles wanting to be human. That literally does not go anywhere. Some of the newer casting doesn't really work well either. Laura Linney's in here, and it really does not feel like she wants to be there. She's just there to kind of cash a check, and really, it definitely shows. But, man, the Shredder in these movies, I mean, if there's one thing that these movies don't do very well, it's the Shredder. This time he's played by Brian T. And he does look like he could be the Shredder and come off as a menacing threat, but is completely wasted in these movies. Like, literally after he completes everything for Krang freezes him and locks him in the Technodrome. And I would complain that they aren't using the Shredder to his full potential, but to be perfectly honest, none of these movies have used Shredder to his full potential. I mean, think about it. In the 1990 movie, they got close. They used him as the main villain, but he was taken out so easily by Splinter in a way that seems bad at first, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense for there. And then, of course, in Ninja Turtles 2, he turns into the Super Shredder, and he's taken down so easily that the Turtles literally don't do anything. It's just like, they could easily just sit there and just be like, grab some popcorn. Just like, no, guys, we don't really need to do anything. Let this guy do it to himself, because he's going to kill himself first before he can kill us. I mean, that literally is what happened to him in this. Like, but, I mean, in the other movies, he never gets the chance to prove his menace. Like, in the first movie, he falls off of a building into a garbage chute. In the second movie, he becomes a Super Shredder and he gets killed by knocking over the pier and killing himself. They don't even bother showing him in 3 or TMNT. And in 2014's Ninja Turtles, he gets his ass beat by a woman. Like, these movies do not use Shredder the right way whatsoever. And we've got Mutant Mayhem 2 coming out next year. One would hope they're going to use him the right way. One would hope, but then again, probably not. But what makes these Ninja Turtles movies work better than the Transformers movies is that people who make these films clearly love the cartoons. They know what makes the cartoons work. They know how to bring them into the live action world. Plus, they keep it simple. They don't have to go for insane, overblown special effects like Transformers did. There are overblown effects, but they're not where you can't see anything like you can in the Transformers sequels. There's nothing offensively bad about these movies like the Transformers movies are. This movie is just a good, fun time at the movies, paying homage to what made the Ninja Turtles so special growing up for us kids who watched them back in the day. I mean, it's the perfect example of a good, fun summer escapism entertainment event. The action is really good. The visuals are fun to watch. The acting is good enough. The spirit of the series is definitely there. It's slightly better than the 2014 movie, and it makes you wonder, I mean, it makes you wonder where the director was probably going to go for this, but of course that never happened because unfortunately this film didn't do as well as the first film did, and which is both a con but also a pro, because we got easily the best Ninja Turtles movie to come out after that, which was Mutant Mayhem, which is a terrific, terrific movie, and, you know, I don't think I need to say too much more about that. You can find that review on Talking About the Movies on the channel, but, yeah, as far as this one goes, yeah, I like it a lot. It's a fun movie. It doesn't need to, it's not anything too deep or anything. It's just a good, fun time, and that's exactly what you want to see in a summer blockbuster. The same can't be said for our next movie, Emilia Clarke starring alongside the Hunger Games' Sam Claflin in Me Before You.
So, can I ask you something? What happened? Sorry.
Stay. Tell me something good.
I can make you happy.
You are pretty much the only thing that makes me want to get up in the morning.
Me Before You, rated PG-13.
Yeah, I'm checking. No, Nicholas Sparks is not involved in this movie. Apparently, after 12 years of literally trying everything to try to copy the success of The Notebook, studios basically just said, Nick, you've had a great run. Well, really you haven't, but, yeah, we're moving on. We're going to try to go for some other romantic Harlequin novels that aren't your works, because this really is like a, not even, I don't even know if a Harlequin novel is the definition here, but this is pretty lame. Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones stars as Lou Clarke, who knows a lot of things. She knows how many footsteps there are between the bus stop and home. She knows she's working in the buttered bun tea shop, and she knows she might not love her boyfriend Patrick. What Lou doesn't know is that she's about to lose her job, or that knowing what's coming is what keeps her sane. Will Traynor, played by Sam Claflin, knows a road accident took away his desire to live. He knows everything feels very, very small and rather joyless now, and he knows exactly how he's got to put a stop to that. What Will doesn't know is that Lou is about to burst into his world in a riot of color, and neither of them knows they're going to change each other for all time. Yeah, it's a movie where, you put Emilia Clarke in a sexy red dress, and, yeah, I mean, it's pretty to look at. I mean, yeah, Emilia Clarke's a beautiful woman, and I love the color of red, but it doesn't make the movie that good either. And then again, the same director also did The One and Only Ivan, which was a movie I should like, because there's a lot of things I like about it. It has a good cast and a good idea, but kind of like with that movie, the potential is there. The rest of the movie isn't. I mean, it's really a boring-ass movie, and it doesn't help that, these characters really are not that intriguing whatsoever. They are kind of lame characters, and you really do not give a shit about either one of them overall. I mean, it's a movie where it's one of those manipulative movies where it's trying so hard to get an emotional reaction out of you in the cheapest way possible. These two are good actors, but they have no chemistry whatsoever in this movie. They're pretty lame. The movie itself, overall, is just really, really lame. And it's a movie where, in a way, it can feel kind of offensive to people with disabilities and all that, because there's definitely a lot of elements where it's just like, I mean, come on, man. Disabled people are not this pathetic. I mean, these are poorly written characters for a movie that is literally nothing but, let's get a cheap emotional output out of you. We're not even going to try to actually be smart or creative with it whatsoever. And I get it. People just want to go see an emotional tearjerker, but there are good tearjerkers, not garbage like this. I mean, this is pretty lame. It's a lousy movie. What could I say, man? It's a bland, forgettable movie. I bet you've already forgotten about it since I've talked about it, because I know I certainly have. But this last movie, however, is a film that most people have not forgotten about, even though it didn't do well when it came out. But yeah, I am not a fan of this movie. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last film, Popstar. Never Stop, Never Stop It.
But Popstars couldn't get any cockier.
Let's go!
On June 3rd.
Ever since I was born,
I was dope.
It went in! You a murderer, son!
Some stars
I feel free!
are brighter than others.
you're adding wolves to the tour?
When have I ever been wrong before?
Seal, come on! Are you okay?
I'm fine for a second. Popstar.
Kill Seal, man!
Rated R.
I really hate this movie. This is one of those movies that comes around every once in a while where everybody seems to love it, and yet I'm the one person that just doesn't get it. I don't get what the enjoyment factor of this movie is. But then again, in the last month alone, we've had several movies where people seem to love it, and I'm just looking at them going like, what the hell are you guys smoking? Super Mario Galaxy, Michael, and probably Devil Wears Prada 2. I'm going to see that tomorrow by the time this is out there. But Popstar, never stopping. When his new album fails to sell records, pop rap superstar Connor For Real goes into a major tailspin, played by Andy Samberg, who's one of the co-directors on this and writer. Actually, he's one of the writers on here, not one of the co-directors. But it's made by the Lonely Island people. And watches his celebrity high life begin to collapse. He'll try anything to bounce back. Anything except reunite with his old rap group, the Style Boys. I've got nothing against Andy Samberg. I think he's very funny. He's always made me laugh on Saturday Night Live. He's great on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love The Lonely Island. The music is always great. It's funny. It's catchy. It works all the time. These guys have made a lot of really good things when it comes to movies. They made one of my favorite underrated comedies, Hot Rod. They made the Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie. Hell, Akiva Schaffer just directed one of the best movies from last year, the Naked Gun reboot. I really hated this movie. I was shocked that this got as many positive reviews as it did, and people were just telling me, you gotta give it another shot, man. It's just like, no, I don't. I did not enjoy this movie. I thought there were elements of it that worked, but the problem with this movie is that it's nothing but an over-exaggerated Saturday Night Live digital short, and that's not a good thing. Like, there's definitely moments of this where I did laugh pretty hard, but at the same time, a lot of that comedy is that stupid, awkward comedy where it just never friggin' ends. Like, long after the punchline of the joke has already been done. There are so many moments in this where the comedy centers just go on, and on, and on, and on, and on, and on, and look out the corner of 4th and Main because I'm about to lose my lunch. That's a Simpsons joke right there for you people that didn't get that, but you get the idea. The jokes in this run way too goddamn long. It's that stupid, awkward comedy from Zootopia 2. I'm sorry, Zootopia 2. I apologize for insulting your intelligence. Zoolander 2 is what I'm trying to say. Zoolander 2 from earlier this year. Now, this is a pretty bad movie. I mean, Andy Samberg is doing the best he can in this, but the biggest problem with his character is that he's basically pulling the Will Ferrell method here. This is literally what Will Ferrell was doing early on in his career. The top dog celebrity who's got everything in the world. He has a mental breakdown, finally loses it to start over again, only to have his resurrection at the end. That's all this movie is. I mean, Samberg did this himself with Hot Rod, but Hot Rod was much funnier and much cleverer. The rest of the cast is trying their best here, but there's nothing about anything here that's great or special about them. Even the celebrity cameos are forgettable in this. It's trying so hard to be the new 21st century update of This Is Spinal Tap with this mockumentary style to it, but again, it doesn't help when you consistently have jokes and set pieces that never end. Honestly, this thing felt like it was 5 years too late. We're way past the point of those documentaries like Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, or Katy Perry, Part of Me, or the Miley Cyrus or Jonas Brothers movies. It's like, that ship has sailed, man. I mean, it was 3 years since the last documentary of that type came out, which was the One Direction one. It's like this isn't like when Walk Hard came out, or it was right in the middle of those music biopics we were getting. This one was way past the point that anybody gave a crap about it, but I'll give it this. The soundtrack to it is really good. It's The Lonely Island doing what The Lonely Island does best, and these songs are the only thing that's keeping the movie afloat. They're very funny, very catchy, and it falls into what you expect from The Lonely Island in general. But unfortunately, the rest of the movie just isn't that. It doesn't capture the overall spirit of what makes The Lonely Island so great. It's just one too damn long SNL digital short. And it struggles to get laugh-out-loud moments because it doesn't know when to stop the joke. Nearly every single bit of the comedy in this ends long after the funniest part has been over, to the point where when you start laughing at it, they're still going on with the joke here. It's like a joke that never ends. It's just kind of like, move along already. Like, come on. Like, it just fails miserably. It's a bad movie. It's not a funny movie. The few jokes that are funny are few and far between. The cast is wasted, and it's just not worth it in the end. If you want to see a good Lonely Island movie, go watch Hot Rod. If you want to watch a 21st century update of This Is Spinal Tap that's actually funny, watch Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. Both of those movies are much better than anything that you're going to get out of this pile of shit. I hate this movie so much. It's one of the worst movies I saw that year, and it's probably one of my biggest disagreements with most people whenever they talk, you always have those conversations online about, what's one critically acclaimed movie that you absolutely hate, and I can tell you, this would be very, very high up on my list. Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping would most definitely be high up on that list, no question about it. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, we'll take a look at 3 more movies, including 2 sequels. One good sequel, we have The Conjuring 2, a video game adaptation that almost is about as good as something like the Angry Birds movie, but not exactly. But it's one of those ones where it feels like it does come a little bit after the success of the original game's high popularity, and that's World of Warcraft, movie simply being Warcraft. And then you have Now You See Me Too, another installment of the franchise that shouldn't even exist to begin with because the first movie was not good. And what a shocker, the second one's not very good either. But we'll explain more about that tomorrow here on the channel, so stay tuned for that. With all that said, though, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.